Hi, I'm Rick with Florida's VA Mortgage Center, and this is the top 10 myths about VA mortgages. Myth number 10, you need perfect credit to get a VA mortgage. Absolutely not true. Your rate will be better, your fees will be better. Like, for example, if you're a 580 credit score, you can get a VA mortgage, but you're probably better off waiting. If you're a 600, between 600 and 640, that's pretty good. Like, you can still get approved. You're going to pay a little higher rate, a little higher fees, but it's definitely doable. Above a 640 is generally the sweet spot. That's where it's going to be good rate, good fees, fairly easy approval. If you get above a 720, it's going to get even better for you. You'll have the best rate out there with any lender, and it's going to be a good loan. But don't think you have to be a 720 to be able to apply. You can apply at a 600, and if you don't like what you see, we can just give you some pointers on how to improve your credit. Bring it up to 640, and you're good to go. VA mortgage myth number 9 is the VA lends you money. The VA does not lend money. They won't lend you a dime. The private lenders lend the money, and the VA puts the VA guarantee on there, which insures the loan in case of default. It basically insures 25% of the loan in case the lender takes a loss in a foreclosure. So with that in mind, every lender is going to interpret those VA guidelines a little bit differently. So if you run into a problem out there trying to get a certain property type done, or say your credit score isn't what one lender will take, shop around. I'll give you a perfect example. I had a client call me about 2 weeks ago and say, USAA is not approving a mobile home on land. And I'm about 2 weeks away from closing, and I've got to get this deal done. He called us, we got the deal done, I just closed it. So if you run into an issue out there with a lender for a property type or FICO or anything else, call around a little bit. All the lenders interpret it differently. They look at the VA guidelines and do what they want with them. So every lender will be different. Keep that in mind. VA mortgage myth number 8 is it takes too long to close a VA loan. That is absolute nonsense. I close VA loans routinely in less than 30 days. The fastest one I ever closed was in 10 days at Christmas time. Someone called me in a big rush. I actually got it done, which is very, very quick. Recently, before December, someone called me on the day after Thanksgiving and said they wanted to get a VA mortgage, but they're in a hurry. I just got that one done in 17 days. So anyone that tells you VA loans take 45 days or 60 days to close either don't know what they're doing or they're working at the wrong lender. VA loans should be able to close in 30 days if you have a competent VA lender, competent VA loan officer on your side. So don't listen to that. It does not take a long time. It does not take any longer than a conventional mortgage. VA mortgage myth number 7. VA loans are only for starter homes, which is absolute nonsense as well. VA loans right now in 2025 can be approved up to $3 million, as long as your income qualifies for that big of a loan. You'll also see online out there that VA loans are limited by the conforming or conventional loan limits, which right now in Florida is $806,500. That's actually not true either. The lenders, again, are following their own guidelines, and they can go up to $3 million right now, currently in 2025. So don't listen to that. VA loans are only for starter homes, or you're buying your next home and you're upgrading, and you're not thinking about using your VA loan. Absolutely consider your VA loan for that. You can buy your second home, third home, fifth home, 10th home with a VA loan, and the only limit right now is $3 million. So if you're in doubt about the limit or what you can buy, call your local VA lender, get a pre-approval, and find out. VA mortgage myth number 6. You need your DD-214 in order to apply for a VA mortgage. That's 100% not true. What you do need is your certificate of eligibility from the VA, but you don't have to get it yourself. You don't have to request it and wait for it to come in the mail or anything like that. If a lender is hooked up with the VA on the portal and they do a number of VA loans, enough to matter, they're going to be set up in the VA portal where they can pull that certificate of eligibility or COE on the spot. For example, I can do it if I have your social security number and date of birth. I can pull your COE in under a minute. So don't listen to any lender that tells you to bring in your DD-214 or any of that nonsense. If they do VA loans and they know what they're doing, they're already set up with the VA portal. So if you get a lender that doesn't know how to pull it from the VA portal, run. They don't do a lot of VA loans, and they're probably going to screw yours up. VA mortgage myth number 5. VA appraisals are too strict and VA appraisals take too long. Both aren't really true. The VA appraisals take about a week, and the VA appraiser are on a clock when the order comes in. So they have to get it done within 10 days, which is about the same as a conventional appraisal. Number 2, VA appraisers aren't any more strict than a regular appraiser. I've done plenty of loans on the conventional side and VA, and the appraisals are pretty much the same. So anyone that tells you VA appraisers are super strict or take a long time, that's not the case. Back in probably 20 years ago, VA appraisals could take about a month, but that's not the case anymore. VA made some changes. They have more appraisers on the VA appraiser panel. They take about a week, sometimes 10 days. But generally speaking, they are not more strict and they don't take any longer. VA mortgage myth number 4. VA loans are only for purchases. Absolutely incorrect. VA loans can be used for a cash out refinance. So if you want to pull some money out of your house and use your VA mortgage benefit to do so, you can certainly do it. Don't ever believe that you can't use them except for purchases. You can 100% use them for a refinance. You can pull cash out of your house, use it to put in a pool, do some remodeling, build a deck, whatever you want to do. Up to 90% of the value of your house can be borrowed, and it's fine with the VA. VA mortgage myth number 3. You can only use your VA mortgage benefit one time. That's absolutely not true. You can buy a home, sell a home, buy a home, sell a home, buy a home, sell a home. You can buy 10 homes one after another, as long as you're selling the first one, buying the next one. There's no limit to the number of homes you can buy with your VA mortgage benefit. The only limits kick in, and I'll cover this more in depth on a different video, is when you buy a home and you don't sell it right away and you want to buy a second home. That will affect your eligibility. You'll basically split the county loan limits for Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, which right now is $806,000. You'll split that. So you own a home for $400,000 already. You want to buy the next home, it's going to be $406,000 benefit. VA mortgage myth number 2. You can't use your VA loan for an investment property. You certainly can. As long as it's a multifamily property and you're living in one of the units, you can definitely buy a duplex, triplex, quadplex. That's just fine with the VA. It's got to be between 1 to 4 units, and you have to live in one of the units. So you buy a duplex, you live in one side, let the tenant pay a big chunk of your mortgage. That's completely fine. VA mortgage myth number 1. You can buy a house with $0 or no money. That's absolutely not the case. You can buy a house with 0 down payment using your VA mortgage benefit, but you're still going to need money for inspections and closing costs. Now, your closing costs can be paid by the seller. The VA allows up to 4% of the sales price to be used for closing costs. Generally, that will cover all of your closing costs and your homeowner's insurance, at least in Florida. That's what I'm seeing. Your inspections are going to run probably under $1,000 for a home inspection, your termite inspection, and a well inspection if you have a well in the property. But generally speaking, you're not going to get in for absolutely $0. So don't try that. But generally, the seller paying closing costs you can do for around $1,000. And that wraps it up for the top 10 myths about VA mortgages. Now, if you're looking for a VA mortgage in Florida, or you're moving to Florida and want to use your VA mortgage benefit, be sure to look me up at Florida's VA Mortgage Center. My name's Rick Foxx. My Info is at the end of this video, and the link in the description should also be clickable. Thanks.